why you take so long? That is way too wide. Zoom. It's taking so long because I'm a goober. And I forgot to plug the thing in that does the thing. And so partway through the thing I was like, screen's turned off. Why is the screen turned off? The screen is turned off, you bell end, because it's run out of power. I plugged in the... that might have been this one. Might have been this one. Well, what's that one? That's not even plugged into anything. So, you know, joys of everything having a cable that looks exactly the same as every other cable on my floor. Turns out, something else was using the cable that was supposed to go into the Steam Deck, but that's irrelevant to today. Right? I feel well old, man. Why? Good stuff is cheap now. Eh? Yeah. So this comes from a couple of different places, right? But it just dings to me how far things have moved forwards in the last few decades, right? So one of the ones that always dings me, and this is going to sound really weird, right? You're walking down the street, you know, doing your groove, as you are, and randomly I'll like glance over, like something catches my eye, and it'll usually be like a pair of headphones. I like audio gear, right? I've got quite a few pairs of headphones. And then I look, I was like, barely looks like someone that's managed to get out of bed themselves in the morning. Like they don't even know, they're not even old enough to know how to dress themselves yet. How the hell did they get a pair of those? You know, high school kids rocking around with like XM3s or AirPods or something like that. I'm like, damn, that's like hundreds of pounds worth of equipment in some cases. Like, either these kids got rich parents or like, what? But then it's like things like my kids have got laptops that they're pretty expensive, but they do so much more now than anything I could have dreamed of when I was a kid. Hardcore. The other one of the other ones that dinged me, right? Audio interfaces. You can buy these things like cheap as chips these days. This isn't a particularly cheap one, but then it's not a particularly expensive one either. You can buy an audio interface, a somewhat decent audio interface for like $40. Going back to the headphones thing. I remember when I was a kid, right? I remember when I was a kid, if you wanted good gear, decent gear, it would cost a fortune. Or at least it would feel like a fortune. A pair of headphones, earbuds, for example. If you wanted a good pair that didn't sound like complete bowls, like all mids and nothing else, you'd be talking a decent chunk of change. But now, even, I don't mean to like take the piss, but even if you're like proper dirt poor, like you've barely got 2 pennies to rub together, you can get a pretty solid set of earbuds for like $15. $15 that would completely crush anything I'd used when I was a kid. When I was a kid, if you wanted to buy a guitar and you wanted it to be something that wouldn't cut your hands to ribbons, sharp ass frets on one of those little Squire dealios, those Fender, the Strat clones, you know, get one for $100, $150, torn to shreds on them sharp frets. But now you can get a decent guitar for as little as $50. Saw a thing the other day. Chap was talking about violin. That's a posh man's instrument. Violin? Rich kids play violin. Or like, I don't know, overseas school children. But people that don't come from here, posh people, they play that instrument with the thing that you put under the chin with the woobery there that does the thing, and you do the guitar-y thing with the thing and makes the sounds. That costs a lot of money. Not any bloody more, apparently. You can buy violins for, what, $50? I heard someone say, like $50, and the only bit of them that's jank is the doobry thingy that does the horse cracky thing. There. What is that thing called? That's apparently the worst part of them. Like, are they as good as like a £1,000 whatever? No, probably not. But man, you can get a violin for fuck all when I was a kid for $50. You can buy anything for $50. You could barely buy a loaf of bread for $50. I had this just weird groove. The guitar thing really got me as well, because what was I playing with the other day, right? Oh, where is it? Well, I've got an iPad floating around here somewhere. If anyone sees the iPad in the background screaming at me, I can't hear you. Don't worry about it. But you can buy apps for like no money at all, right? Amp sim apps, and you just plug your guitar into an interface, into an iPad, and you've got every tone you could ever want in a cheapy app. And I do mean cheapy app. I'm talking like sub $50, right? When I was a kid, guitar tones, if you had a guitar, that would be a 10-watt practice amp and it'd sound like shite. Now, I mean, I keep holding this up. It's like £100 and some odd interface. But like I said, you can buy an interface for, well, a decent one, like $50. Less than that. If you just want to go, I'm going to plug my thing into the thing. Yeah. Because clocked in, this dude, they were talking about headphone amps. Like these just little things you just plug in at the bottom of your guitar and you whap your headphones in and it's got like a volume knob or whatever. Oh mate, I've tried some of those and I'd rather play my guitar acoustically. Bollocks, would you? If you've got an acoustic guitar, you'll play it acoustically. If you have an electric guitar, if you say to me you would rather sit on your couch and play that thing acoustically, you are full of shit. Absolutely full of shit. Like, I've got a couple of the more expensive ones, but like, you know, shit tons of guitar tones in a little tiny one of these. I think you can get these for like $70, right? I can remember one of my first amps, or one of my first big amps. I don't remember how much it was, but it was pretty pricey. I think I got it on mates rates actually, so it probably wasn't as much as I'm probably thinking. But like, amps ain't cheap, right? But you can get fantastic tones out of something like this for. You can buy like the cheaper ones for like 20 quid or something, 30 quid, whatever. 70 quid. I've got another one floating around here that I use my bass that I've now lost, but you know, and then get one of them cheap pairs of earbuds. Bam! Loads of guitar tones. This doubles up as an audio interface. It's like, what? Where did all this cheap, good stuff come from? China, usually. But mixing boards used to cost a fortune for a good one. Now, like I say, now you can get audio interfaces like mega small, really well made. Just all these different instruments, all this different stuff. It's just, kids are so spoiled now. If I wanted anything remotely passable, you'd be talking hundreds of pounds in a lot of different fields. But technology's gotten better, it's gotten cheaper. Like, oh no. You guys are so spoiled. And it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. You don't have to break the bank to get good stuff. You don't need to go out and buy that like £500, £1,000 guitar. There are still really high-end things like guitar and headphones and computers and all that, but you don't need it. And it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like, the point of diminishing returns kicks in so much earlier now. Like, oh yeah, mate, look, the difference between the £500 thing and the £1,000 thing, and it goes off. And right now it's like, oh yeah, mate, the difference between the £50, £100 thing and the £500 thing. And you're like, wait, when did that slip down the scale so far? Complete audio workstations on computers, cheap as chips. Microphones, high quality, cheap as chips. Dare I say it, cameras and camera equipment, cheap as chips, or a lot cheaper than when I got into stuff. Like, you can get a whole rig and just put it in a backpack these days. And any of my mates, again, I'm going back to guitars again, like, ask any, or like go to a LAN party, right? If I want to go to a LAN party, I can just pick up my laptop and I'm good to go, right? I remember back in the day, you'd have to take a big old hulking CRT, stonking great PC, you have to lob it into the back of someone's car, you'd be ripped as fuck by the time you got to this LAN party, right? It was just to play Doom. Doom or UT. We'd all be like ripped, like 6-pack abs, you know? Just to move a computer. If you're a gigging musician, not me, alright, you'd be hulking around these big old beefy amplifiers, your guitars if you were rich enough to have a pedal board, and now it's like, oh yeah mate, just run it through my iPad. Like, what? Run it through my iPad or my cheap laptop with an amp sim on it. What? But don't worry, because soon we won't need musicians or anything anymore. You won't need to listen to anything anymore either, because AI will do it all for us. It'll get even cheaper. Like, oh my god. It just blows my mind. Just like how easy it is to get good anything, serviceable anything these days. The barrier to entry has just come crashing down, right to the floor. So that even the poorest of us can, I say poor like it's a bad thing, but like, you know, if you haven't got a lot of money, it's not going to take a lot for you to be able to take those first steps in something you want to try. I mean, admittedly, if you want to do something like, I don't know, show jumping, you're still going to need to buy an expensive horse, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's electronic, it's pretty cheap now. I mean, you can buy, or mechanical, a lot of stuff is just really cheap. Now, if it has a pulse, it's still going to be pretty expensive, but most stuff is really cheap. Tools, electronics, instruments, the arty crafty stuff. It's all just getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And now everyone can do it. Everyone can try it. I mean, fuck man. We've got a piano in my garage. Guess how much I paid for it? Nothing. Got it for free. Almost got 2 pianos for free. Right, so it was the cost of moving them, which was like nothing. Because there's families around here just smashing those things up. No one wants them. Thousands of pounds worth of piano just smashed up in the street. Instruments that used to cost hundreds of pounds, you can now buy from, you know, Music House Toman and have them shipped to you for like $55, $60 for a decent, like for a decent playable instrument. You know, all the guitar tones you could possibly want. Instead of having to lug around a big old amp or whatever, just grab a little box like this, or wherever an iPad is in this stupid room. Of course, an iPad's going to still cost you a few bucks, but just... Oh, I feel so old. That is not how I planned for this to come out today. I was just thinking about it, talking to my mate Zaber about audio interfaces. Like, why would you buy that one when you can buy this one? It's got all the same inputs, outputs, software's pretty solid. You're going to be doing the exact same thing and you're not going to be using half the features anyway. You know, talking to my mate DeWald and my mate Divine, and we're talking instruments and amps and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, You couldn't buy anything like that when we were kids. Nowhere near the quality of what you got now. As tech improves and things get cheaper, just as I say, the barriers to entry just come straight down. Thinking about buying earbuds for, £7 to £10, and they sounded like ass, pure mids. Now, again, £10, £15, you can get a nice pair of Moondrops, like some Quarks or some Moondrop Chews, under £20, and they're gonna sound fucking phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal compared to anything I had back in the day. Just wow. Just wow. What a time, mate. Cameras in your back pockets that are better than anything I could have dreamed of when I was a kid. I'm curious actually what a lot of my old timey lot would say is something they never thought would come down in price, would always be expensive, and now you can buy them like everywhere in like packs of 20 for $1.50. Do you remember once upon a time when studio space used to cost money, and now you've just got people producing everything out of a backpack? Digital art. Get an art tablet for what, $50? Jeez. Insanity. Anyway, I'm gonna head off. Good time to be alive if you're a creative, maybe, until the AI takes your job. So I hope you're well, and I'll see you all with a bit of luck in the next one. I can't remember if I did the alright, how you doing? I just got proper like, excitement! And then just exploded. Quite literally, I could do a clean pair of shorts after all that. Wow. Damn. That was all because I was dicking around with one of these and an iPad app and just, fuck this.